Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Live from beautiful Manhasset High School, it's time for boys lacrosse. Today's visitor all the way from Connecticut is the Darien Blue Wave, and trust me, this trip is far from tropical. Today it's 39 degrees and raining here in Manhasset, but that won't stop these two teams. Both of them enter the year early here with high expectations, and you have two programs, two coaches, and two groups of players and college commits that have championship standards and expectations. And early in this year, both teams trying to figure some things out. For Darien, they had just recently, a few weeks ago, almost half of their starters in the hockey state championship, so they're trying to recover from missing the first week or so of lacrosse. Coach had told me that they missed a lot of the mini camp and preseason workouts, so they're having some trouble getting settled in, but they think they're starting to get there. And taking you through it all today, myself, Kevin Bunk, my partner, Mike Nelson. Mike, this is a great matchup today between these two teams. Nassau County from Manhasset, one of the iconic programs here, and they get a tough challenge today with Darien in some tough weather. How do these early season matchups really play out?
So yeah, thanks, Kevin, for pointing it out too. The beginning of the season is always tough for every team. Nobody's really dialed in and has everything figured out right away. Both teams, I think, are still trying to figure out their way. Darien, like you mentioned, still getting some guys, incorporated into their system, and Manhasset had some young guys that they're trying to figure in as well.
And for Darien, this is a long-standing, historic program, so they're trying to have another strong season. Their coach, Jeff Braumeyer, 681 and 157 career record, looking to add number 682 today. And we look at the players that could get him there, Ben Bilodeau and Mark McNamara. What do you see from these guys, Mike?
So let's start with Bilodeau. He's the guy that they're going to run their offense through. He's the one that kind of makes things click on offense and organizes. He's the quarterback. On defensively, I'm looking at the Twin Towers, the McNamara brothers. I mean, what goalie wouldn't love to have two 6'7" and 6'8" guys, anchoring the defense?
Absolutely dominant, and those two guys played together on that hockey state championship run, so just imagine rushing those two on the ice. 6'6", Mark McNamara and his brother Connor, 6'7", absolute monsters. Coach just described them as enforcers, defenders that you can trust to do it all and do all the dirty work that you need, and that's not it for this team. They have a lot of really talented guys on this Darien side. A lot of college commits. McNamara, Mark himself going to Penn State, and his brother, I'm sure, will be committing somewhere. Coach alluded to it that he does have interest. When you have those veteran guys that play that season, I know, and you see here from Manhasset, they have a similar group. Danny Cullen, Connor Sheeran, these two guys from Manhasset, how can they counteract what Darien's going to try to do?
Well, first of all, for these attackmen, my goal, my key to them would be stay away from the Twin Towers. They got to keep their feet moving and not, giving them any targets.
And those are veteran players for these teams. All of those four guys have multiple years. So when you have those guys who play other sports together, who play lacrosse together on an annual basis, as well as some of them overlapping in travel, what can that do early in the season to mold your squad?
Well, I think it matters. I think no matter what sport you are, as long as you spend the time and getting to know the other guy, and, hockey, lacrosse, similar. Actually, the weather today makes it feel like it's a hockey game. So, I think it's all going to benefit them.
Quick look at the Darien Blue Wave starting lineup. Up front, it's going to be Ryan Thurlow, Max McBride, and Ben Bilodeau. In the middle, Connor McNamara, Wes Scallon, Henry Jeffers. And on the faceoffs, Gus Chernick. And then back on defense, Mark McNamara, Gardner Ellie, Rowan Levine, and Jimmy Benedict. So that's your starters for the Darien Blue Wave. And those guys have a tall task today. And they are trying to protect George Persinger, who has 14 saves in the early going this season. Persinger was the captain of that state hockey team, that state championship hockey team. So it's rooted through. These guys, while they haven't been playing lacrosse together the last few weeks, they've been playing together for months now at a high level. And on the Manhasset side, the starting lineup, it'll be Danny Cullen, Connor Sheeran, and Marco Petroselli up front. And in the middle, Daniel O'Connor, Dylan Shear, Tommy Leader, and the long stick mini there, Lachlan Fitzpatrick. He's a huge impact player for them. Back on D, Arik Cellura, Colin Kelly, Michael DiPietro, and Henry Griffiths. When we come back, we have action here from Manhasset between the Darien Blue Wave and Manhasset Lacrosse.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back live from Manhasset High School. I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Mike Nelson. We appreciate you joining us here this afternoon on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And Mike, we have some breaking news about the goaltender for Manhasset.
So before the game, we were looking forward to seeing Henry Griffith, their typical starter. The guy that usually has been, in the cage for them, and a guy that I think that they've been leaning on so far this year. He will not be playing today. In his place will be Brady Balch, number 49, another senior, also an experienced guy. So we don't really know all the specifics yet on Henry Griffith, but we're going to look into it and get back to everybody.
And for Brady Balch, he had come back to the school from Chaminade last year, and coming into the year, probably third goalie, but has worked his way into that backup role. And him and Griffith both have similar styles, according to Coach, so he thinks that it could be a seamless transition for them in the events that they do have to go to him, which is today. And when you are a coach, as in the situation today, it's going to be Coach Keith Cromwell. When you're in his position, how do you get the kid ready? He might have been doing this on short notice,
Yeah, so I believe even though he was in a different high school, I think they still have familiarity with him, through the club season. Brady has the prototype goalie body that everybody's looking for now. He's big. He takes up a lot of space. Left-handed. That's going to be an interesting to see how Darien adjusted a left-handed goalie rather than a right-handed goalie. So it'd be interesting to watch that situation develop today.
And you see the two teams taking midfield for the opening face-off. And out there, for Manhasset, Bo Dillmeyer. And for Darien, you get Gus Chernick. Going to be a good one here today. And the rain's starting to hold up a little bit. It's supposed to after the start of this game. Rain's supposed to hold out.
So they looked at the weather forecast today and they said, you know what? Let's have a lacrosse game. That's typically what you do on Long Island, right? Cold, rainy, windy, who cares?
It's early April for spring sports is a tough one. And the opening face-off and first possession will go to Manhasset. And right away, there's a penalty.
So right off the bat, Darien called on a technical push foul. It'll be a 30-second foul, I believe. So Manhasset begins the game offensively on a man up.
And Dylan Shear was the one there, scooped it up, took the hit, but that's a big one to draw right away, and you're trying to get started on the right foot. Great opportunity for Manhasset to do so.
It could be a tempo setter. You know, if they capitalize here, it could, get them going for the rest of the game.
Here they come now, and Coach did also mention they're trying to adjust to that 90-second shot clock and see, or 60-second shot clock, and see how they can operate early in the year here. And now here's Manhasset moving it around. Behind the net now, up to the wing, it's Leader. Good movement here, but tough to penetrate. Trying there. An opportunity, but denied.
A lot of position changes on the Manhasset man up, but Darien was able to block that passing lane.
Once again, Tommy Leader had it. Now swings it over, and a shot on. First of the day is a score. Danny Colin, captain of this team, gives them the lead. Great start for the Navy commit. Danny Colin scoring on the man up.
Okay, let's see here. Manhasset continuing after the ball comes out of bounds. Back on the man up. They changed direction of the ball and caught Darien mid-shift, mid-rotation, and found number 32 wide open on the backside for a goal. Number 32 is a big number around here in honor of John Driscoll. We'll get into that eventually, too.
And Danny Colin, the honor of wearing it.
Yep. Navy commit Danny Colin wearing the John Driscoll jersey, number 32.
And Darien will have it off that second face-off, and they look to respond now, down 1-0.
I think the face-off battle is something that we got to keep an eye on all day today. It looks like two competitive guys, and they're going to be figuring each other out.
On that far side, it's Bilodeau. Gives up top to Scallon. Now Wes Scallon swings it over to Dylan Weeble.
One thing Darien is not short on, excuse the pun, is height. They got some big kids.
Weeble lets one fly and didn't get it quite how he wanted it, as ended up high out of play, but it stays with Darien. Now McBride has it. Good footwork from McBride. Gives it up to Bilodeau. On the wing, Scallon. Driving, puts one on, skipping it in. The response, and even at one.
So that's good movement on the part of Darien to set up a weave offense and kind of bring that midfielder over the top. Again, Darien's setting picks all over the field and changing positions. Number 4 was able to get top side and shoot on the backside on Brady Balch.
So Brady Balch, first shot face today, skipped in. And now another battle on the face-off.
I think on the face-off battle, we always got to pay attention to the wing alignment, the wing midfielders for each team, how they match up, and a lot of times that has something to do with who has a better day at the X.
With possession again, it's Darien. Bilodeau has it. So dangerous. And on him tight is Colin Kelly. Slowing things down now. Still 45 on the shot clock. Now McBride running hard, gets his pocket picked. Good check there.
That was a great check on that alley dodge by DiPietro. And a good thing he was able to get it because there really was nobody lined up to slide on that dodge.
Moving it up now, Daniel O'Connor has it. And Coach Cromwell said they want to work on their clearing game early in the season. He's trying to get it to 90% plus, and right there you see an effortless clear upfield.
Darien was happy on their ride just to sit back and kind of, let Manhasset look for their open men, but look for them to change up the ride if the clear remains successful.
Here's O'Connor with it. Gives it down deep. Tommy Leader. He runs now.
Darien defense is not giving the Manhasset ball carriers much room. They're pressuring right off the bat.
Not at all. We'll see if Colin can do something here. Has the goal for Manhasset already. Loses it there. And it's scooped up. Nice play by Mark McNamara.
There's the range by young Mr. McNamara with his height and his range. He's going to be knocking down passes all day today. I think Manhasset needs to do a better job maybe of staying away from him.
Behind the net, couldn't handle it. Was Thurlow. Now he has it, turns top side and scores. Getting right around the crease there. Rounded it quick. First lead of the day now for Darien.
So there was a little bit of a helter-skelter substitution there. I don't believe that that Manhasset really was settled into their defense yet. Still substituting, and the attackman was able to, number 6 was able to run around the cage, and nobody slid for him. Manhasset needs to figure out, their slides.
That's the junior Ryan Thurlow, Villanova commit, so obviously he's got what it takes out there to make a difference. Great in the classroom as well as you have to be to end up at Villanova.
Absolutely.
Good battle here off the faceoff. Finally ends up with Manhasset. And now right back to Darien. And now they move it up the field. Some trouble handling it early in open space.
I don't think that I've seen a high school defense quite with the size as Darien has. I did three guys behind back there, in front of the goalie. He's got to be thrilled to have those guys.
Yep, really impressive group of size, and it's going to translate to their play as well.
We have to, keep an eye on how Manhasset adjusts to that.
Jeffers has the ball in the attacking position there, and then it's going to be sent topside.
Nice change of direction.
Moving it well here. Here's Bilodeau. He's got size as well. Powering in. Shot's going to go wide, but it'll stay with Darien.
Manhasset, a little bit of difficulty defending those picks. A lot of two-man game on the Darien side.
Here's Thurlow. 15 on the shot clock. Thurlow just became aware of it, I think. He's looking for another, and he misses wide. 4 on the shot clock now. I think one thing teams are struggling to adjust to is when you miss wide, it doesn't reset. Got to get a quick one here. And the shot clock expires, so a great defensive possession, for Manhasset. Quickly stolen away. Bad turnover there. Good defense, though.
Nice recovery by the Manhasset defense.
Great recovery, and Colin Kelly was there to pick up the turnover, and now they move the other way. Crossing the midfield is Dylan Shear. Heading in, he takes a lot of contact, and immediately the officials are going to act on that.
So they gave him a push possession. That'll be a 30-second foul and another man-up opportunity for Manhasset.
See if they can capitalize again here. Still 2-1, 5:58 to play in the first.
So, on a man-up side for Manhasset, Darien's ability to knock down passes and kind of, cover the lanes and create some obstruction in the middle will force Manhasset to stay on the outside. But they did a good job the first time of changing positions and moving the ball around.
Manhasset with it, looking to even things up on this man advantage. Leader has it. Now to O'Connor. Losing the ball there was Petroselli. And Darien has it.
It's a nice ground ball by that young man.
That's a great ground ball there by Jimmy Benedict. Something that Manhasset's also trying to work on is their ground ball efficiency and making sure they're consistent. Taking it all the way there was Mark McNamara. And now Bilodeau up to Lane. Lane will retreat. And coming on the field now is Thurlow. There's a goal on 2 shots. There's a bounce wide of the net by Scallon.
On a wet AstroTurf, sometimes the bounce shots will take off, and I think Brady Balch was a little surprised by the actual speed off the turf of that bounce shot.
Bilodeau has it. Good footwork there. Trying to set himself up, but he can't. Good defense. Now Wes Scallon has it and over to the wing for McBride. McBride sends it towards the net and a good save. First one, maybe it was a pass there, looking for Lane, but either way, ends up in the stick of Brady Balch.
You know, for a goalie, just having the ball in your stick sometimes on the clear or however you get the ball, you know, will do a little bit for his confidence. Just kind of, you know, feel a little bit more in the flow of the game.
Right back to it, though, is Darien. Lane has it. Out of Scallon. Wes Scallon taking his time. 45 on the shot clock. 4 minutes to go here in the first. But sidestep and the score going low there. The sidearm angle on the shot. And putting that home was Max McBride.
Darien goal unassisted by number 3, Max McBride. The Blue Wave leads 3-1.
So there we have isolation up top with the midfielder, and he was able to get his hands free from 10 yards out. It was a nice low-to-low sidearm shot in the corner. Stick side on Brady. I think that he probably would like to have that one back, but that was a real good shot.
Mariska for the Blue Wave on the near side.
Now into the face-off circle, you see Bo Dillmeyer. This is part of this rotation that Manhasset's going to run. They're trying to find somebody on these face-offs. Coach even told me that they'll go occasionally to their poles to just try and muck things up on the face-off if they're not winning them. Here's a good rush and a great save made. Shot attempt was Marco Petroselli. And with the big save, George Persinger.
That was a really nice save to stick with the shooter and match sticks and keep the body moving. Great save.
Tommy Leader with it. And has it down 3-1, 3.5 minutes to go here. 50 on the shot clock. And Manhasset looking to get something going. Good defense here, though, by Darien has made it very difficult. Petroselli has it now. Down to Colin. Behind the net, O'Connor looks to make something happen. O'Connor gives it up. Leader shot just high.
That was a nice slide by Darien. However, there was no recovery slide, so leaving the shooter wide open on that one and just missed the cage.
Colin has it back now. Finding its way. Running a good scoop.
The offense was there for Manhasset, but they just couldn't connect the dots.
O'Bremer has it. Sends it in front. 50-50 ball goes to Manhasset. Good job there by Colin Kelly, and now
Tough to give up that turnover. Just late in the first quarter, down by 2 goals, and you don't want to give Darien the ball back.
They have 2.5 minutes to play here. Darien looking to add to this lead, already at 2 goals. Jeffers gives to McAaron.
Failure to enter the box. Failure to advance the ball.
Now Manhasset the other way. After Darien failed to advance.
We got a delayed penalty on Darien for offsides, I believe.
Quick try there from Colin went wide. 2 minutes to go. Good rush there, though, by Manhasset, just trying to make something happen quickly. Showing some urgency late in this first.
So Manhasset was able to dodge the bullet down there, after that turnover. Now they're going to get another chance, yet another chance to go on the man up. If they capitalize here before the end of the first quarter, to bring them within 1, That's something that they desperately need, I believe, at this stage.
30-second technical foul.
So it'll be 30-second man advantage for Manhasset. They scored that first one on an advantage. Petroselli gets things started here. Colin behind the net. Looking for an outlet, has it. Move the cross to O'Connor. Back to O'Connor now. O'Connor goes down to Palumbo. Nice grab. And quickly puts it back to Petroselli. Looking for Palumbo. Now up top, the shot is going to be saved. A nice one on a great try by O'Connor, but once again, George Persinger was there.
Very nice save on a tough high bouncer, which is one of the toughest shots for the goalie to stop.
Thurlow now has it. We'll see if Darien can add anything here. Minute 10 to play in the first. They're up 3-1.
One minute. 1 minute in the first.
Scallon driving to his left now. Sets things up. Good defense there. As Lachlan Fitzpatrick is hounding the ball carrier. Jeffers has it, puts one on. Goes bar down. That's a beauty. Took the contact as well.
Darien goal by number 14.
Let's look at the replay here. One thing that Manhasset has to be cognizant of is Darien has got some shooters, obviously. I mean, they got some guys that can rip the ball. They can't allow them to get, their hands free from 10 yards out. It just can't happen. They have to do a better job of staying on their hands and denying passes.
Big face-off here from Manhasset. It's Bo Dillmeyer in there against Gus Chernick. And Chernick's going to win that one.
Blue Wave controls.
Most straightforward face-off of the afternoon so far.
The Darien face-off wing middies are doing a better job than Manhasset wing middies. It's not necessarily the face-off guy per se, taking advantage of the Manhasset guy. The wing play is factoring into it too.
Colin Kelly with a nice play there. Now fighting for it near the sideline. Keeps it in play. But they couldn't scoop that one up. So Darien's got another chance here with 16 and a half seconds. Manhasset cannot let something up. Already a 4-1 game. Rounding now. Good job, though, to break up that pass. 5 seconds to go in the first. Manhasset just looking to run this out, and they will. So that's the end of the first. 4-1 the score. Darien on top. Doing a great job on both ends. Manhasset will look for some answers here in this first break. Don't go anywhere. More high school boys lacrosse coming up here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Bill Miller, longtime director of the Manhasset Lacrosse program.
Back live here, 4-1, the final after one, fresh 12 going on. And I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Mike Nelson. And Mike, a lot of college commits here on the Darien side of things. Guys that are going to, on both sides really here, but on the Darien side especially, you have guys going to Penn State, Mark McNamara. You have Ryan Thurlow to Villanova, Ben Bilodeau, Georgetown. This is a great group of commits.
It's really impressive. I mean, it kind of runs the gamut of all college teams, but the teams that are listed here, the schools that are listed, they're great academically as well as the lacrosse program.
And we'll get the face-off here for the second. We'll give you in a bit the group of commits for Manhasset in a little bit, but we will get this face-off here. Manhasset could really use the opening possession here after that first, the way it finished up. And they, for a second, looked like they were going to get it, and now referee steps in, and it'll go to Darien to start. So this Manhasset defense, Mike, what do you think they have to do here in this second just to limit any damage?
I think they have to pay more attention off the ball, fight through the screens a little better, and not allow shots from 10 yards out. I think Brady just kind of being thrown in today. I think he needs a little support, a little more support to help him feel a little more comfortable. The shots were not his fault, but Darien, was getting pretty good looks, and I think Manhasset needs to tighten up a little bit.
Here's Thurlow with it. Scored in that first. McGarren has it now. Looks for a lane. Got a pick, but rendered ineffective. Good defense by Dylan Shear. Now with it is Jeffers. Running to his right. Goes up top.
Better job on a screen. Better job on the pick by Manhasset. Very good. They must have spoken about it during the break.
Nice fake and a good save.
Big confidence builder for Brady. Great stop.
He needed that one. You spoke about it earlier. The pass that ended up in his stick is a good confidence builder, but to actually save one there, that goes a long way. And now moving it.
Yeah, let's see if he could build off of that. It was not a very good approach by that defenseman to get face dodged on that, but Brady was able to save him.
Dylan Shear brought that one up, and then he comes off. And Coach Solda's kind of an old-school throwback kind of player, loves coaching him for that nature, and he's really good off the ball, doesn't put any of his teammates in bad spots. Kind of mentioned him as one of the valuable unsung heroes of the team, and we'll see plenty more of the midfielder throughout the rest of the afternoon and the entire season here for Manhasset.
I'm sure Coach could ask for 10 more, he would.
Exactly. And Danny Collins going to miss wide there. The Navy commit, all-county last year. High expectations for him. He was the first named captain, as you see here. Colin going to Navy, Arik Sellera going to Stony Brook, Daniel O'Connor, Colby. Great group here as well. I mean, Henry Griffith, the starting goalie, Franklin and Marshall, Kip Zakaria, Lehigh, and it's just a group of guys who are, been playing together a few years now, some who are more new, but good group for Coach to have.
Yeah, very good. I mean, and, the reason why the list was only 6 or 7
well, there's a goal.
long is because Manhasset's so young. There'll be more.
Daniel O'Connor buries that, and he gets the Manhasset sideline some life.
So here we go. So Manhasset's trying to, get a little momentum going. I believe that starts from the save from Brady. And now they're being a little more aggressive on offense, Manhasset. Great shot from the outside against a pretty good goaltender, stick side high, but that was a laser from outside.
And for Brady Bouch to get that save and now to see his team go score a goal, that goes a long way for a goaltender.
I think that's all he needed. Sometimes it's a simple thing like that, just to, start from the defensive side out, and it turns into a goal on the offense. And if the wing play has improved also for Manhasset.
Kyle Melkonian had a good ground ball pickup there off the face-off, and now he moves in. Manhasset looking to follow it up with another one this possession.
With the momentum they just gained, they have to be careful not to turn the ball over here and, and swing the momentum back. That was a very good timeout by Coach Cromwell.
Yeah, Keith Cromwell going to take a timeout there. Team's down 4-2, and obviously understanding this is an essential possession in this game for his squad. We'll see what they have afterwards when we come back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back live 4-2, your score, 9:16 to play. And just before that break and the timeout, you saw Daniel O'Connor score, also known as Doc. Coach really said he loved his early practices. He thinks he's a year better. One of the players he's very excited about on this squad. He got a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, worked on his shot. We saw it right there. And I think that work and the ethic obviously spread through the whole team. It's not just Coach saying that, because this sideline erupted when he put that in.
Yep, the momentum has definitely shifted. Lacrosse is a game of runs. Right, so, right now Manhasset's on a little run. They want to keep it going as long as they can. And O'Connor certainly contributed to that.
Colin goes down. Flag thrown. He stays with it, though. And now the whistle. So it'll be another man up. Got two flags, actually. Mark McNamara is going to get a full minute there.
1-minute penalty for tripping on number 18, Mark McNamara. Extra man opportunity for Manhasset.
We'll see what they have, because Coach Cromwell, he just called that timeout. Now they get the man advantage soon after. See if they're able to capitalize.
Manhasset settled down a great deal. And a timeout, I think, helped them immensely. They look more poised. They don't look so, like herky-jerky and nervous about the man up, and they're not forcing things. Much better look from Manhasset.
Colin fighting hard. This ground ball, can't scoop it up. Finally does, takes contact and holds on to it.
Another great timeout call by Coach Cromwell. That was big right there.
So Coach Cromwell will signal it again, as his team now has the advantage. So maybe he wants to talk things over a little bit again. And it's possible, right, that he went into that with a full plan for even strength, and then your plan might get squashed because you get that advantage.
Sure. I think he's being very careful not to let the momentum go, and trying to, safe, keep the ball safe, safeguard the ball, and keep the momentum going.
Well, Varsity Media, you can book a sportscast here. You want to keep fans, family, alumni connected with us. And if you need any services from Varsity Media in high school sports, you can check out the website or contact 516-403-2050. It's ben@varsitymedia.net. Once again, ben@varsitymedia.net. So many different productions that the team here can do for you. And no matter what capacity you need it in, there's a service for you. So if you're looking for something, whether it's for your program or for your child, for an athlete you love, contact Ben at varsitymedia.net, see what he can do for you. So now they come out of this timeout. What do you think the message is? Do you think it's more of a strategic timeout, more of a mental timeout, just to get these guys ready for a big advantage? They still have about half a minute on this.
I think the first reason why is they wanted to maintain possession, because the ball was on the ground. They were scrapping for it. Once Colin took the ball up off the ground, he wanted to hold on to it, not turn it right over, give any momentum back to Darien. So here, let's look for Manhasset to continue to stay poised and work the ball around, and hopefully they'll capitalize.
But it now is Sheeran. He gives down for Colin, and now up top, O'Connor. Back left side shot on, going to be saved. A high one there. Tommy Later and Persinger was ready for it. This is danger, though. Colin scoops it up.
They have to come up with the ground ball. They have to win the ground ball battle to stay in this game.
Colin lost his stick there. It looked like he had it initially, and then he couldn't hold on to it. That would have been real danger.
One of those rangefinder defensemen, was right on top of him and made it difficult to pick the ball up.
Great recovery to pick up your goaltender. Persinger definitely would like that sequence back.
So right after making a big-time save like that, that's not what you want to do is turn the ball over to the attackman, but they were able to get away with it.
Now we have a stoppage. There was a call, or at least a whistle, and now we continue play with Max McBride and then now Wes Scallon. So Darien has the first possession that they've had in a few minutes here. Manhasset's really controlled the recent portion of the game, and now it's 7.5 minutes to play in the second. Darien looking to extend their lead already at 4-2.
So the last offensive possession by Darien, it looks like Manhasset did a little better job of fighting through the picks and communicating.
There's Connor McNamara with the score, and how about the size of McNamara? Able to round out the defense there and put that one far side going low.
Okay. That's a tough matchup for that midfielder. Clearly outsized. McNamara just, with 2 strides was able to get past him and get his hands free, and it was a really good shot offside on Brady.
And Coach did tell us, Connor McNamara, great hockey player, great lacrosse player. He's 6'7". Said that the two of them, Mark and Connor, excellent students. Really everything you want in a player. And when you can get that size and length and their ability to use it, what an advantage that is.
Yeah, he's got to be a happy guy. Honestly, I'm thinking when I go home later, I'm going to look up some of the games on YouTube hockey. I'm intrigued now.
Manhasset gets an important possession, though, off that faceoff. And they look to move it up
nice
now.
Job. Tic-tac-toe up the field.
There's Melkonian. Good job moving it up. Now they have to capitalize. With the ball right now is Daniel O'Connor on the far side, waiting for things to get set up. 45 on the shot clock. O'Connor has it. And they move it around, and it finds Luke DiPietro. DiPietro surveying.
He's got a good matchup on a short stick. See if he tries to take advantage of that.
He's going to go back up top. It's Leader. He puts one on. It got deflected and wide. Deflection made it dangerous, but luckily for Persinger, it ends up wide. And there's a wide shot. So now, shot clock basically ran out there. You only had a few seconds left on it. Good defensive possession, but also some good looks there for Manhasset.
I'm watching Persinger, the goalie, and what impresses me about him is, how active he is. He's also, in his positioning, he's daring the other team to score where he wants them to shoot. And that's a different look in high school.
Here's Scallon.
With the blue wave clear.
Now McBride. Darien's done a good job moving the ball and getting their good looks, the looks they want. But Manhasset has not made it easy. Darien has definitely had to work. And with that ground ball was Kelly, and now they move it up the field. Good job there, though, by Colin Kelly. They needed to get that out of their zone, and Kelly starts it.
Kyle Melkonian brings it into the...
Melkonian with just over 5 now, and that's going to be a turnover for Manhasset. So a great clear and run up the field. McNamara pushes it up.
That's a tough time for that turnover after having a good defensive stance and clearing the ball. I'm sure they wanted to maintain possession on that one.
Henry Jeffers has it. One of 2 brothers here. Henry Jeffers and Daniel Jeffers. Daniel the older. You also have the McNamara brothers. Coach also told me that they have a pair of twins coming up right now in their junior varsity program that are very promising. So something in the water.
Yeah.
Producing some star pairs of siblings for this Darien program. Under 30 on the shot clock now. Lane has it. Moving around up top. McBride has it. Max McBride takes the pick. Puts it in front. Point blank try is going to be taken away. A whistle Crease violation will be the call, but he never even got the shot off.
Now, it was a good opportunity for Darien. Unfortunately, he couldn't find a handle on that one. On the doorstep of Brady, but they got lucky on that one.
Good physical play at midfield here, but taking it is Henry Jeffers. He's got a good run. Jeffers absorbing some contact. And a timeout will go to Darien as Jeff Braumeyer wants to talk things over. 5-2 game, but a real competitive second quarter here. And we'll have the rest of this second with 3:48 left. When we come back, don't go anywhere. You're watching Manhasset versus Darien on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back live, 3:48 to play here in the second. And it's a 5-2 lead for Darien. I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by my partner Mike Nelson. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And we've had a great matchup so far. I think both defenses have really settled in. Both offenses trying to get something going. And Darien a tough break on the possession before. But what are you seeing in this second quarter that's made it a little bit different than the first?
So although the score really doesn't reflect it, I think Manhasset's doing a better job all over the field. I think they have to feel better, pretty good about the way they're competing right now. The defense is, holding them in the game. Offensively, they're getting some good looks, and more importantly, more possession time.
It has felt as if this second quarter has been controlled by Darien, but only one goal to show for it.
Right.
And they trail by 3 still. Plenty of time left. There's Darien out of the timeout. With it is Thurlow. Good movement. Bounce shot, and it gets high. And scoring is Wes Scallon. A tough high bounce there for Balch.
His second goal of the game.
It's going to be the second of the day for Scallon. Take another look.
So we got a nice alley dodge here on Darien. They clear through and set another screen. He was able to get through the screen and a high bounce shot, which I think Brady kind of was trying to fight off, but wasn't able to get the handle on it.
Not easy, as you mentioned earlier, too, in the wet turf for a goaltender to be able to judge these bounces properly. But another goal makes it a 6-2 game.
Yeah, it's tough. On a wet turf, the ball picks up speed and it changes direction sometimes. It's tough. But I think Brady would like to be a little more aggressive on the bounce shots.
We'll see if Manhasset can help their goalie out. Taking it away there is Rowan Levine. And he gets it up to Henry Jeffers, who can slow things down for Darien. With it is Max McBride. Now he gives over to Connor McNamara, who scored earlier in this quarter. McNamara's been setting some really effective picks right there. Kind of fake that he was going for it. Ends up getting the ball, but nearly turned over now. Back to the stick of McNamara. Good pass. The shot and the goal. Finishing was Ryan Thurlow. Off the pass from McNamara. Great possession for Darien there. Now they have a 5-goal lead with 2.5 to play.
I don't think that's how Manhasset really wanted to end the first half. So here we got Darien controlling the loose ball with one pass move and looking forward. Now we watch a little hitch move at the post on this defenseman, and it was a nice shot offside on Brady.
Yeah, in those first 8 minutes, I mean, you mentioned it, first 8 minutes of this quarter, felt like Manhasset really figured things out. They were in a good rhythm, and now tough to see them to have that quarter and now to be down by 5 is a little disheartening.
Yeah, they were controlling the tempo, they were controlling the possession. They seemed to be a little more sure of themselves, and a couple of bad bounces.
Unbelievable. Mark McNamara running through 4 physical defenders for Manhasset, and that shows you what McNamara is able to do. That size and the ability to run while possessing the ball.
But Boy, they're going to love him at Penn State, I tell you. He's going to fit right in that program.
They absolutely are. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Varsity Media Sportscasts. We're right back here, you and I, on Tuesday when Manhasset and Syosset play at 11. That's another great game. And then we have girls lacrosse, Fairport and Cold Spring Harbor on Wednesday. You can go find also on Wednesday Kellenberg and Holy Trinity. That's a baseball game. Manhasset, Cold Spring Harbor, girls lax on April 17th, 1 p.m. Spalding, St. Anthony's, boys lacrosse on the 17th as well, also at 1 p.m. And finally on the 17th at 5, Massapequa and East Islip. Great upcoming schedule here to start this spring season.
So I know the kids love to have their game televised. You know, it's something that us old-timers didn't really have, when we were playing, but now it seems like there's, a couple of different games every year for each team, and it's great that these kids get to go back and look at these games, and it helps for scouting as well.
It's a great opportunity to have the resources of Varsity Media and the amount that they can do to help you with scouting. You're right. It's such a key thing to have your video, to have what you can do and what you can show these colleges, and obviously in working out.
I think it serves many purposes, right? It helps in scouting, and these days, if you're not getting film, if you're not getting, this type of stuff, you're behind.
Yep, and playing on teams, especially like these ones, special teams, stuff you remember for the rest of your life. Great for these teams to be able to get the coverage they deserve.
Both of these programs are, historic, basically, programs in Connecticut and on Long Island. So it's kind of a privilege to be here and watch these guys going at each other.
Here's Connor McNamara.
I just can't get over the sides.
Unbelievable. And he embraces the physicality. He doesn't shy away from anything here.
It's funny, the stick, I'm sure it's legal, but it almost looks like a toothpick in his hands.
It does. He gives it up there to McBride. McBride thought about a shot, but ends up just passing it off to Bilodeau.
I wonder what the McNamara grocery bill is every week,
I'm glad I don't have to pay it. Shot went wide, so Thurlow has it now. Darien continues possession. Under 30 on the shot clock. Good setup for McNamara and a nice save by Brady.
On the doorstep by Brady Ball.
Ball's just had to flick that one out. He does wisely. Good job.
That's one of Brady's attributes, is not only his size, but his positioning and able to kind of shut the door on the inside shots.
And that save right there could give you a little more confidence as this half finishes. If you could pair a goal with it now, just over a minute to play, that could go a long way for Manhasset.
They have to finish this half on a positive note if they want to come back in the second period, the second half.
Tommy Leader has it. Under a minute now. On the shot clock, there's 40. Leader driving to his left. Gives behind. Moving out in front. An opportunity and a goal. The sequence they needed finished by Connor Sheeran.
100%. So how about this? Starts with another save down in the defensive end and transferred down to the field. They're able to get possession down here and he scored another goal. That's what Manhasset has to rely on.
Take another look at this. Really nice possession for Manhasset.
So they ran the ball behind. They spun the ball around. The attackman behind drew a slide and was able to find the number 9 right in front of the cage. Nice catch and release.
And now, still with 46 and a half seconds, it's crucial for Manhasset to make sure they go in at the least, keeping this a 7-3 game.
Connor Sheeran is one of their leaders in goals, and the guy that they need to rely on here.
Another face-off win for Manhasset. A lot of contact there, and we do get a whistle. This Manhasset sideline erupted. A bit of a late whistle there, but still a whistle. Came in a second or two after you probably would have expected it.
So that's a great break by from Manhasset. So in a situation like that, I'm sure if Coach Cromwell still had a timeout left, which he didn't, he would have used. But instead, the whistle came to his aid, and now they're able to retain possession and get his offensive guys on.
Leader's going to start with a 36.4 seconds on the clock in this first half. A 4-goal deficit for Manhasset. So a man advantage to finish this thing out.
So there's a minute penalty, 36 seconds left in the half. Let's see how Manhasset's possession goes. If they get down to close to the half, they'll hold on to the ball to start the second half with the ball.
Mike, are you looking more to use this whole 36 seconds and find that one shot, or get really aggressive here?
I think that if they don't get it right away, they're going to look to hold on to the ball and start the second half with possession. They're not being too aggressive here. They're not really moving around. They're looking to see what Darien gives them.
Almost a look there, but back up top for O'Connor.
Yeah, they won't take any chances here. They're not going to try to force anything.
And it opened up for him, Mike. You jinxed it. It opened up for him right there, perfectly timed.
They gave what they gave him. They took what they gave him, right?
Great job by Manhasset pouncing on that and finishing.
So as we were debating here, so Manhasset's patience here really showed off. They took what Darien gave them. They had a little give and go on that play, and they found 31 on the backside, and that's really huge going into the second half.
So Phil Palumbo, the sophomore, finishes the job, and now with 8 seconds left, suddenly things have turned around for Manhasset. After a few minutes ago, we were sitting here saying it's a disheartening finish to the half. Now these kids rallied back, and it's 7-4.
We can't forget the fact that how young Manhasset is. I mean, they have 9th graders, they have 10th graders on the team, and they're all trying to become men in the course of this early season.
Well, the last try is going to be saved as Daniel O'Connor's long heave wouldn't go. And you're right, Manhasset could look a lot different in 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
100%.
When they have to look great than they do now. But right now they have a tall task ahead of them, trying to come back 3 goals against this really good Darien squad. So you don't want to go anywhere. We'll have more boys lacrosse between Manhasset and Darien on the other side in the second half. You are watching Long Island Boys Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream events. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network. Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back live for second half action as we're just moments away. I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by my partner Mike Nelson. Glad you joined us on the Varsity Media Sports Network on this cold afternoon, just around 40 degrees, rainy. That hasn't stopped from a good game. And you look at these two teams and legendary coaches, especially on the side of Darien. Jeff Braumeyer, 42nd season at Darien, went to school as a student, started the lacrosse program. He was their first coach. He's still their coach here in 2025. 681 and 157 career record. Unbelievable.
Boy, that's just an amazing story. You know, you really don't see that. You can't see that nowadays anywhere else. You know, the time and the effort that he put into this program in a long time. 42 years is a long time.
His team coming out with some big energy as Jack Marisco runs almost the full length of the field off the face-off. And now they'll slow things down with Max McBride, who goes up to the big man, Connor McNamara. This size is just, it's breathtaking.
I can't get over
to
it.
See.
It's like a man playing with boys, you know.
And that'll translate to the college level. Obviously not as much, but still not going to see many guys playing the way Connor McNamara does. Still waiting on his commitment. His brother, of course, Mark, going to Penn State, where I'm sure he'll thrive.
A lot of guys, a lot of coaches hope that their kids come in as freshmen and, you know, get in the weight room and get bigger. He's college ready.
He is.
Yeah.
Both he and his brother. And now here is McNamara out in front. Goes for the quick shot, but misses wide. Manhasset will have it. Arik Seller.
Nice hustle play by Manhasset.
Good job by Arik Seller to get back. Someone that coach spoke about at length. One of the most important players on this team, he said. There's a good ground ball moving the other way. Good ride there by Darien. Wes Scallon has it. He's slowing things down. Once again, your score 7-4. Really strong finish to the half for Manhasset. Really strong start to the second quarter. That's a great save by Bouch. Another one that he's just trying to continue. Brady Balch to get the confidence up and get into that rhythm. See if they can get it out now, though.
Speaking of the first half, Manhasset basically is outsized, out-experienced, and they were outground balled in the first half, but they're still hanging around.
This is one of those games early in the season, too, that you can take a lot from regardless of the win-loss column, and Manhasset has put themselves in a position to win this also.
Absolutely, this is going to go a long way with this toward their success for the rest of the year. Win or lose.
Behind the net, Ryan Thurlow going to set something up. First team, good patience. Now Thurlow rounding. Has to go back, though. Good defense there. And now right in front is McNamara for the finish. Good defense just before that, Kyle Melkonian, but
I think that's a lot to ask of Kyle. To kind of for him to stop McNamara, he'd have to drape himself all over him and kind of hang on him, and he just couldn't get close enough. And honestly, his size, I think, wouldn't have mattered.
They have Dylan Shear there and Kyle Melkonian both trying to deal with not only McNamara but Thurlow, who we've seen score. Coach spoke very highly of him, a college commit, and it's just a handful down near the goal for the Manhasset defenders. Big face-off, and Manhasset will get possession. Bo Dillmeyer has it.
Manhasset's not going away.
Every time you think that they're starting to get overpowered, they have responded in this game.
Yeah, they're scrapping. It's good to see. You don't want to see a team give up, and especially a young team. It's an inspiration to others, on a team when they see a teammate make a hustle play like that.
Harley had it, now gives over to Leader. Leader slowing it down now. 35 on the shot clock. Under 9 minutes now in the third quarter. Leader finds himself behind the net.
Tommy Leader, the ball carrier.
Leader now looking around, but just puts it up top, and O'Connor couldn't handle it. And now O'Connor.
That's a great play by the Manhasset defenseman to keep that alive. Really underrated play.
And big contact there. And on the ground.
Well, he ran into the wall of McNamara on that one. And
he did, and it looked like it took him by surprise there. Cooper Harley was the one that went down. Taking a minute to gather himself now. Goes off on his own power, but looked like maybe he got the wind knocked out of him for a moment.
That's what it looks like. It's
Varsity Media, you can get ISO videos. This is something that I love here, that you can personalize a video just focused around your athlete. You can contact Jeff at varsitymedia.net for it. And to be able to get those personalized ISO videos to really highlight your athlete, and you don't have to do the work, Varsity Media, the team here, will do it for you. That's a big advantage in recruiting and just in having a keepsake for any sort of performance or any sort of tape that you want to put out there.
Film is huge for college athletes looking to get recruited, and I think it's necessary these days.
The free shot's going to go wide by Connor Sheeran. He's way out.
Connor Sheeran takes a shot. 1 second left.
Starting to rain a little bit more here. So it did not really let up as Apple Weather told me it was going to. That's a bit of a letdown, but we're dry up here, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, we're not going to trade places with these people anytime soon.
No, I can't play, and I don't like the rain, so it would be a bad decision for me to go out there. There's an errant pass. Let's see if Darien can keep it alive. They do. Good job by Declan Pettit to stay with it.
So here's the thing to think about. Like, Darien's had a long day already, getting up early and having to travel down here. They were here pretty early. They were out warming up a full hour before Manhasset. You wonder if fatigue is going to play into the second half for them at all. Also, adding the weather on top of that. Let's see, how this plays out.
Daniel Jeffers with it. Drives, takes some contact.
That's a
Ball's
great
out.
slide by Manhasset. Great. We've been looking for that all day. Great slide by Manhasset.
Good run now. DiPietro has it, and it's turned over. Good defense on both ends in that sequence. Now Darien has a run of their own here with numbers. Shot on, and the save made.
I think Brady's settling in a little bit, starting to feel a little more comfortable. You could just tell by his stance and his reaction to the ball.
If you're just joining us, Brady Bouch, not the projected starter, as that is usually Griffith's responsibility. But today, Balch gets the nod, maybe even on short notice. We're not totally sure, but he's actually done a really nice job here. Slower start than he probably would have liked, but he had to get settled in, and he's looked really strong. Now, a guy that was at Chaminade came back to Manhasset. Coach was ecstatic to have him back, add the depth to goaltending, and you see how important that is today.
And it seems that teams responded every time he's made a big play. So, he's definitely keeping Manhasset in the game.
There's Danny Cullen with it. Manhasset looking for another one of those sequences where they pair a big save, and how about that movement by Tommy Leader? 20 on the shot clock now.
Here's where the shot clock comes into play here.
And they get one. Oh, just outside. Crowd reaction fooled me. They fooled everybody but you, Mike.
Yeah.
Seasoned veteran at this game.
So we call that and I don't want Mr. Turchin to get any bad emails, but we call that a mom goal. All the moms think, yay, but it didn't go in.
I thought it was buried, so I'm right with them.
Yeah. You can tell by the goalie's reaction. He knew right away it was outside. We love our moms, though.
You can always tell by the goalie and the shooter. Shooter's going to let you know if they scored.
Yeah, he hung his head, and the goalie was all happy, and we moved on.
But again, you did mention that's where the shot clock really comes into play. You have to almost force then a longer shot opportunity than you'd like.
Sure.
Through some traffic, and right there you saw it just misses wide.
That's not a shot that Manhasset, I think, would love to take, the ones from the outside, but the clock forced him to.
Thurlow turns that one over. Too high, and that's good defense. Again by Arik Salura.
Just watching McNamara run off the field, it's just, I'm like afraid for the other kids.
You won't see many players with his build at this size, at this level, or at any level.
The other kids in the box, it looked like he was going to steamroll them.
Petroselli with it. Gives to Sheeran. Sheeran up the sideline, and now finds O'Connor. Doc O'Connor back behind for Colin. Colin high steps now. Surveying from behind the goal. Looking for some room. Great defense here by McNamara. Tough to get around him. And that pass couldn't be handled. It looked like O'Connor was loading up for a shot.
Yeah. They just couldn't quite connect the dots on that, but it was a good look by Colin.
Good job by Luke DePietro to keep that alive. Now approaching 20 on the shot clock. Leader has it. Now to O'Connor. 15 on the clock. 4:10 on the game clock in this third quarter. Now 10. They got to get a shot off. Good look out in front and a good save made by Persinger. How about that?
He hasn't really been tested a lot today, but when he has, he's come up big. He's talented. He's a good goalie.
And he was, once again, the captain of that state championship hockey team that Darien just had in Connecticut. Translating it here today on the few times he's been tested. Quick little note here on Arik Salura, a guy that is a Stony Brook commit. Again, another player that Coach Cromwell raved about on his back end. And he's just been great, and he's up a lot of minutes from last year. Coach told me, and he says that he likes him being the anchor on the low base for them. They trust him. They're relying on him this year, and I think so far today we've seen him do a pretty nice job, especially in the second and third quarters here of helping out his goaltender, getting the ball out.
He's been a rock for the goalies and for the younger defensemen as well. I know Coach Gallardi and Coach Brazel are very happy to have him coming to Stony Brook.
And there's a nice sequence. They get the goal. It's Connor Sheeran. And now the score 8-5.
Manhasset will not go away. Kevin, it looks like they're here, and they're gonna be here till the end. So here's the replay. You have one defenseman stuck on a string, and they overloaded the one side, the short side. Manhasset with the cutter, catch and release, great shot to the corner.
Now a big face-off for both of these squads, and Manhasset, they're giving you almost too much good offensive possessions without goals for them to not break through eventually. Eventually it just feels like it's going to keep coming, and now it's at the defensive end where they have to prevent Darien from continuing to make this a 3-4 goal lead, which is kind of where it's sat
100%
since the first quarter.
Yeah. They're still scrapping on the face-offs. right? They're still battling for ground balls. They're in this game.
And based on what Coach had told me about their face-off, Keith Cromwell, he's saying we're trying to just figure out how we can get aggressive and consistent, and I want to see that from our guys. I think he'd be pleased so far with the performance, at least in the last 15, 16 minutes of play from his face-off guys. They've really made it difficult.
I think they're doing a much better job of competing from the wings and competing at the X, and all three guys kind of working together. Coming up with better matchups on the wing play. It's working out better for them now.
Now Manhasset has it again. This would be a big possession to get a goal, but they lose it there. And a nice pickup. Heading the other way is Darien.
A flag on the field. There's a late foul on Manhasset.
So now Darien with time to work with. They definitely want to start chewing this clock a little bit, not put an emphasis on it, but you want to use some of this shot clock.
Yeah. And that comes into play now. In the past, before the shot clock, with a 3-goal lead, you could just really be deliberate and take up a lot of time.
Brady Balch getting aggressive there, but now way out of the net. He'll be able to recover.
Yeah, Brady needs to be in the cage. Good try there, and nice effort to get to the ball, but he's a better goalie in the cage.
Recovered nicely, and now
just like that.
That one ends up wide, touched by Manhasset.
But we have a flag on the field.
We have a flag, so we'll see. It is a violation.
1 minute for a slash on Manhasset, and it happened back there on the defensive end.
Now Manhasset finally feeling like they are in reach, that they are competing at an even level, if not controlling this game the last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
Now they have to get a stop here.
1 minute for slashing, coming at 2:11 left in the third.
So it's like a little bit of a roller coaster. You have 2 good plays and then one play to kind of set you back a little bit. So as long as they keep moving forward and they keep the runs on their side.
Extra man opportunity for the Blue Wave.
Last time Darien was man up, they looked inside to big Connor McNamara. Let's see, and he's got Dylan Shear on him, number 26. So let's see if Dylan Shear is able to keep him out of the play.
Tall task.
Yeah.
Dylan Shear and co.
Literally.
Yeah. You also have Lachlan Fitzpatrick in there.
Right.
One of the team's top long poles. They really trust him.
So they're in a, I was mistaken. I thought they were going to lock him off in the middle, but they're in a full 5-man rotation. With McNamara moving around on the inside, but they're doing a good job so far. If they could, limit their shot, Darien, as they just did there, they're gonna stay involved. Great. That was a great man up. Great deflection of the inside pass, and a really good man down possession for Manhasset.
And a good job by Brady Balch to make sure that he gets the cover and the ball out. With it now is Lachlan Fitzpatrick, and they got to try to advance it. They do, but through the crease he goes.
I'm sure he didn't realize, that he was that close to the crease.
It was Dylan Shear.
Manhasset defense and midfielders really do not have the size or range that the Darien guys do, but they're doing a good job of covering the ground, of being where they're supposed to be, and limited opportunities for Darien right now.
And now back to even. That's a great kill.
That was a huge kill, Kevin. Huge kill. Great job.
There's a shot wide, and that's one that you watch back tomorrow on film or Monday on film, and as a coach and a team, you're thrilled about that minute.
100%. And you can see, like, right there, the next shot that came by, Brady was all over it. Even though it went wide, he looked much more confident in attacking the ball.
Under a minute now. We have 45 seconds left in the third. It's a 3-goal lead for Darien, and they have the ball here with McNamara. Losing it, though. And Manhasset could not control it. Scallon has it.
Scallon gets the ground ball.
And now to McNamara. McNamara, when the ball is in his hand, just a freight train. Moving downhill. There he goes. Good fight out in front.
Nice back check on an attackman by the Manhasset defender.
Still with it is Darien. Falling and scoring is Wes Scallon.
Russ Scallon with his third goal of the game.
Another bouncer.
Yeah, that was a tough break.
Third.
Not sure if Brady really, expected him to shoot falling down. Let's see what happened here. He got tripped, and his body motion brought him to the ground, and he still found a way to release that. Nice high bounce shot over Brady's stick.
At that point, you have no one in front of you to just flip it to. You kind of got to sell out for the shot on, and Scallon does a great job of it.
Yeah, it was a great job. Great play. Really athletic.
It was good defense and a tough break. Just a great player who, you got physically tripped him up, and he still came through with it. But now Manhasset looking to just get out of this quarter clean as the clock expires. 9-5 the score after 3. Manhasset trailing by 4 here on their home turf. We have 12 minutes left to decide this one, so you don't want to go anywhere. You're watching Boys Lacrosse between Manhasset and Darien on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Manhasset. I'm Kevin Bonk, joined by my partner Mike Nelson on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We appreciate you sticking with us this afternoon. How about a look at the upcoming schedule for Darien? They play Trumbull, Greenwich, Chaminade, and Wilton. That's not an easy schedule, but neither of these teams are going to have an easy one at this time of the year.
Years ago, the competition in Connecticut wasn't what it is today. I mean, you used to have basically with Wilton and then maybe Darien and nobody else. But now, there's a lot of competition up there. It's a tough league to play in.
It is. And Manhasset, obviously, down here, they don't have much breaks either. They get Syosset will be here for that game. You can check it out on Varsity Media. Then at Rumson Fair, Cary and Farmingdale. That's a tough week for a tough 9 days. And you include today, it's a tough 12 days.
There's no gimmies there for either team. So, I like when teams don't load up on softies. And they, even in non-league games, they schedule against, good competition. It's only going to make them better.
And this is where, as, a coach in the position of Keith Cromwell, this is where when you have a young team, you're just trying to mold these guys. A couple losses to really good teams does not end your season. Oftentimes, it actually does the opposite.
Yeah, especially for a young team growing. Those things are going to go and bear their fruit later on.
That's why coaches, of course, should not be afraid to shy away. And here's a good run, but good defense as Lachlan Fitzpatrick knocks the ball down, but Darien will stay with it. And I'm sure Manhasset on that schedule will win some games. That's not the point of what I'm saying, of course.
For sure, and they're going to continue to improve the rest of this year, for sure.
Here's Bilodeau. Manhasset has a lot of work to do these last 11 and a half minutes, though. Down 4, it's 9-5, but they've shown an ability to stay really close to Darien in this game and keep them on their toes. Scallon has it. Now he gives down to Thurlow. And with it is Bilodeau behind the net. A kind of quiet day for Ben Bilodeau, one of our players to watch. Manhasset's done a really good job. You see right there on him, it's Colin Kelly, who's been very good today.
Mm-hmm. I think most of Darien's offense has come. Oh, that was a tough break for Brady. He was all over that one and still found a way to get through. I think most of Darien's offense until now was through their midfield.
And there's Bilodeau, of course, right after I say quiet day. He puts one in, and we'll take another look.
So here's Bilodeau coming around as a nice pick set by his teammate. Defenseman does find a way to get through, but Bilodeau gets topside on him and went through Brady's legs. I'm sure Brady would like to have that one back, but that was a nice shot.
And on Colin Kelly, when Coach was talking to us, he said, really good athlete, and he's got great feet. He's a real hard checker, and he's continuing to come along in this clearing game, and he's getting much smarter with every practice, with every game, and he's a player that they look forward to seeing grow throughout the season. One of those guys who is a junior, so still another year in the program, and here's odd man look, and going to miss wide there was Bilodeau.
So we have a goalie change for Manhasset. So Brady Balch, I believe, is done for the afternoon. Number 17 is in. We're going to find out who that is. Right now, he's not listed on the roster. It may be a JV call-up, so we'll see what happens.
Andrew Lindbergh, so an 8th grader there, getting some action.
Andrew Lindbergh. Okay, thank you, Frank.
So Andrew Lindbergh, 8th grade. There's a call-up for the team, and imagine with Griffith out, they just decided, let's get another body.
As an 8th grader to be called up in the Manhasset program, pretty impressive. They must have high hopes for this young man. They have 2 senior goalies that will be graduating, so it appears that Mr. Lindbergh's in the mix for next year.
And there's his first one faced, and scoring.
Welcome to Varsity Lacrosse for young Mr. Lindbergh. Let's look at the replay here. I thought that maybe could have been called a moving pick here. Lindbergh faced his first shooter right on top. It's not his fault. Right on the doorstep.
And even for Brady Balch today, I think that there are positives to take away. We're sticking with that same theme. And this game not over yet at 11-5. Not out of reach, but Darien starting to control this 4th quarter. But to get these guys in early in the season, to get them in some bad weather against a really, really great program, great team, well-coached, that can go a long way for you in May when you're trying to win critical games, and these guys have to get some action.
For sure. Like you said, I don't think really Brady coming out of it was an indictment on him. I think it's like you said, it's more getting more people involved and getting them seasoned and preparing for the future.
And Brady pretty much directly contributed to 2 or 3 of the biggest goals Manhasset scored today with the way he started their clear and making a big save.
Yeah, he was a key for the way Manhasset ran, a little bit today. It was good to see him step up in a tough situation. But he and his teammates definitely responded at times.
There's Tommy Leader with it. He puts one towards goal, and it's going to bounce over, and it looked wide left.
So Darien also has a goalkeeper change. Is that still Persinger?
Still Persinger.
Okay. Haven't seen him much. so I guess I forgot what he looked like, but he hasn't really seen too much action. When he has, he's stepped up.
DiPietro with it. Now to O'Connor. And that shot flicked way high by Connor Sheeran.
That was a quick catch and release and not much aim on it.
Just trying to catch Persinger, and that's the mentality that a good goalie who's been on his game today will put into attackman, right? Just trying to get quick shots off, trying to outsmart him, and eventually it turns into a shot clock violation there. But that's what Persinger's doing to this Manhasset team. We've had a lot of great looks that haven't finished in goals because of the goaltender. Now here comes Persinger.
His ability, like you said, and basically his reputation has definitely affected some of the shots by Manhasset.
Here comes Colin. Shot on and the goal. Petroselli. That's a big finish and way to capitalize on Persinger. Heading all the way to midfield, having to recover the second he gets his feet set. Marco Petroselli is ripping one by him.
So Manhasset able to force a turnover on the ride and turn the ball over quickly downfield to their attackman, and a nice shot past Persinger.
This game not over yet. 11-6, 8:17 to play. We'll see if Manhasset can go on a run here at home. Bo Dillmeyer in to take the face-off. It's a big one for Manhasset, and he'll win it.
Dillmeyer with the win.
Here he goes with some space.
Just when you think Manhasset's finished, they start to climb their way back in it.
They can create some real momentum if they can score here. 45 on the shot clock. We're under 8 minutes now to play in the fourth. Here's Leader. Leader moves from right to left. And now behind the net for Petrozelli, who just scored, and it's turned over the big man, McNamara, like a wall in the middle there.
It's like radar.
Yep.
Radar in the middle of the cage, just knocking everything down and swatting everything away.
And now you have to imagine Darien is trying to take these minutes off the clock when they do have possession.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to, to force anything, and they can take as much time as they can without violating the clock. But even if they run the clock down to 0, it's fine as long as Manhasset's not in possession.
With it is Jeffers, Henry Jeffers, the younger of the pair of brothers. His brother Daniel Jeffers, a year older. We'll see if Darien can add to this lead. McBride has it. Pulls back. Here's Jeffers again. He shoots and scores. Goes low again with the bounce. And Henry Jeffers is on the board. Wonder if that bounce shot will be a point of emphasis for Manhasset moving forward.
Young Mr. Lindbergh is getting a little bit of a tough indoctrination here. The shooter is kind of 6-7 yards away and bearing down on him. Not much he can do on that play.
Another face-off here, and now it's real urgency time with 6.5 minutes left, down 6 goals for Manhasset. On both ends, they're going to have to be going all out.
Just when, the defense tightens up, their offense will make a turnover. Just when the offense really starts to get going, the defense lets up a goal. It's just like they have to put together a full field game for the whole time, the whole 60 minutes or whatever, and that'll come toward the end of the year.
6:24 left to play, 12-6 lead for Darien, and we will see the result on the other side of this break. You're watching Manhasset versus Darien Boys Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back live, 6:24 left to play here on the Varsity Media Sports Network from Manhasset High School, between Manhasset and Darien. And quick look at Keith Cromwell. Both of these coaches, real legends. Cromwell graduated Hicksville 97, then he goes to Rutgers, and he's the all-time points and goals leader. Graduated 2001, 3-time All-American, 12-year MLL vet, was the Rookie of the Year in 2001 with the Lizards here on Long Island, played in Philadelphia, and his assistant coaches Nick Armstrong, Steve McTeague, and Joe Fallon. And this is a great staff here, and I'm sure that they will have this thing right in the next few weeks. Again, we've said it ad nauseum today, but young squad, nobody better to lead this group, though.
No, they're an accomplished group. They're well-respected, experienced, from top to bottom. These are the right guys, absolutely, to take a young group of talented players and bring them to the next level. I think the Manhasset program is in good shape.
And with it here is Ben Bilodeau. Ben Bilodeau is a 4.0 GPA student. Coach actually told me higher than 4.0. So he can do two things I can already. He can get good grades and he can play lacrosse.
Don't sell yourself short, Kevin.
We haven't seen my grades yet.
That's all right.
Here's McGarren with it.
But that's an impressive young man right there, that your coach will say that about you, that says a lot.
And Bilodeau is going to Georgetown, so obviously going to have good grades to get in. You're going to have to be a great player to get there.
Going to do some good things in the future.
Thurlow has it. Another one, Villanova commit. Another 4.0 GPA guy. And there's a goal. That's a beauty by Thurlow. Really tough. That's what Villanova will be getting at the next level.
So Darien still has, some of their guns in, and Manhasset has started to substitute, particularly in the cage. And so you have an 8th grader here going against, some Big East commits, college commits. It's really kind of like an overmatch, But, he's getting valuable experience, and one day he'll be talking about, his first appearance at Manhasset.
When he's a star here for Manhasset, one of the next upcoming future stars of this program, then
absolutely, he could say I played against the Villanova commit, Georgetown commits. I didn't go in against some powder puffs.
No, who knows what those guys will be doing? Probably having large success in college. So
by the time he's a senior, right?
Yep,
so, yeah,
exactly.
Right, yep.
Thurlow still a junior, so has another year in this program at Darien before he heads off to Villanova.
Personal foul.
And Bilodeau, also a junior. So Darien's going to be returning a pretty great group next year. And you can see the foundation of what could be consecutive years of serious championship contention, as they have every year.
They don't rebuild, they reload, they say, right?
Exactly.
And then they play hockey.
Yep.
I will watch a hockey game tonight.
As you should.
Takes its first timeout.
A timeout taken by Keith Cromwell.
So Keith called that timeout. Coach Cromwell called that timeout while the defense still had the ball. And if that ball would have went in, they wouldn't have been happy.
No,
the young man would not have been happy. But it worked out.
So 13-6 your score, 5:17 to play as Cromwell signals the timeout. You look through these squads, and they have a long year ahead, obviously. I think, just thinking back for me a few years ago, being a high school athlete, and it's so easy to sit here in your first couple games of the season. You were waiting all year, you're training all year to try and get your confidence knocked down with a loss, as Manhasset has, or even on the other side with Darien. You don't want to get too overly excited with the win either. You want to stay level at this time of the season, and you know that these two coaches are going to do that. And moving forward, you'll realize these were the building blocks no matter the results.
Oh, sure. It's hard to see at that time, but then, like you said, eventually, they're going to look back and say, this is when it happened for us.
And especially for Lindbergh, who goes into that, and 8th grader, that's a lot of emotions, that's a lot of mentality, but obviously just the fact that he's here is something that he should be proud of, something that he will be proud of if he's not already.
And I think what goes a long way is the confidence that the coaches seem to have in him, and how they believe he has a bright future, and they're willing to, throw him in the game like this.
And, maybe junior varsity, obviously great lacrosse here on Long Island, but maybe for Lindbergh, you go from Villanova and Georgetown shooting at you, and your next game down in JV, middle school, 8th grade level, you're thinking, this isn't so bad.
So his break came obviously when Henry Griffith, wasn't able to play today, and so he got bumped up a notch, behind Brady, and he got his opportunity.
Leader has it now, is looking to make it closer here and more respectable is Manhasset, as 13-6 feels like a larger margin than this game has been played at.
It's been like a compilation of several games in one game, right? A couple, not even quarters. Sometimes it's a 2-minute run, 3-minute run.
And that lends itself to the idea that these teams are still trying to find their overall identities, trying to find their overall chemistry.
Rightfully so in middle of April.
Yep.
Manhasset is released. Luke DePietro.
There's Petrucelli with it. Centering pass is ricocheted into the stick of Colin, and now up top, shot from deep is going to be saved. That was Luke DePietro with the try, and Persinger another save.
So a high to high, right to the stick, just not going to cut it against Persinger.
And now with it is Darien. Looking to extend their lead, and now they have some guys still out there who have been top guys for him all game. So, not much of a switch, whereas Manhasset, you're starting to see some players switching here.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left, up by 7, I would expect that Darien, would have some of their other guys in. I'm sure Manhasset would like to get more of their younger people in at this point. In a game that's out of reach like this. It's a tough thing to see, with McNamara out there against the 8th grade goalie.
There's Levine with another kid who excels above a 4.0 GPA in the classroom. But that's kind of the standard for both of these schools as well. You're not going to find a lackluster academic. Both coaches told me that it was hard for them to actually pick a couple guys to highlight because they said these kids are all just so smart and you have to be.
So the days of the dumb lacrosse player are over.
It's over.
You just can't get,
They left with you.
Pretty much, yeah. I might be the last of the Mohicans. But we see that, not only are these guys talented, they're putting the work in on the classroom and, in the weight room, and they're just all around good young people. That's a tough turnover.
And
they're not doing a young 8th grade goalie any favors at this point.
Thurlow has it now. The Villanova commit. Now it's swung over to Henry Jeffers, who has a pair of goals today. Jeffers still has it. He's just going to give it easy to Daniel Jeffers.
I like to see the last 2 minutes, some different kids get involved.
You wonder when the coaches will try to do that, because even at this point for Jeff Broadmeyer, you wonder how effective is it really if you're still trying to mesh these guys together. He did speak about that. He wants these starters, this core group, to really start to figure it out together, and that one's going to hit the outside. But
I could see that point too.
But at this point in the game, how effective really is it? Up 7, and that's something for coach to weigh.
He's got 20 kids on the sidelines that have, took the bus ride here, and we could see all sides on that argument.
Here comes Manhasset. Nice job to split the defenders there, as Daniel O'Connor got it in. Now a good pass in front and a great shot.
Good catch and release.
Connor Sheeran with the finish. Marco Petroselli with the setup. Minute 33 to play. It's 13-7. Darien still in the lead.
So here we see Manhasset driving down the alley, feed to the attackman. Number 9 cut through, found himself some space. Quick catch and release. Nice placement on that shot.
And at 33, playing for some pride, playing for some personal stats as well. Not that anyone's taking a selfish approach to that, but you like to get whatever team and personal stats you can add anyways.
Sure.
Elkonian advances it.
I just like the way the Manhasset's just not giving up. They're not throwing their hands up.
That's a great sign for a young team that could easily throw in the towel 2-3 minutes ago.
You couldn't ask for more, and this is only going to make them tougher down the road.
There's a turnover.
That was a good look, but a little bit of a lollipop of a pass. I'm sure he meant to get it in there a little quicker. But again, good offense.
So Thurlow has it. We're under a minute now to play in this final quarter. Shot clock turned off.
45 seconds left in the game.
So 45 seconds to play. Max McBride has it, and they're just running clock out here. But Manhasset not going to let him just stand with it.
Nope. DiPietro's been like the Energizer Bunny all game. He's been hustling from start to finish.
And his write-up from coach was, as we have 20 seconds left to play, was he's an assistant coach on the defensive side for them. And those kids are always the most important on the team and really athletic. He can push the tempo, play at all tempo really for them. And
he lines up on the wing on the face-off. And
so that'll do it as some sort of a scoreboard error there, and that wraps it up. But 13-7 your final as Darien takes down Manhasset, but I think a lot to look forward to if you're Manhasset, a lot to take away from this game, and especially for Darien as well, getting the win.
I think the future is bright for both programs. The future is a little quicker, a little sooner right now for Darien, but Manhasset will have their day.
And you look at the ages and the guys that are college ready at this point, it's not much of a surprise to see that was the result, but Manhasset certainly will look like a different team a month from now under the leadership of Coach Cromwell as their young players continue to develop. But for today, they fall 13-7 here at home. That's the final. The Blue Wave get the win, and they head back to Connecticut. Their bus ride will be a happy one. We appreciate you sticking with us all afternoon today on Varsity Media. I want to thank our whole team, Ben Turchin, Kevin Catalanato, myself, Kevin Bunk, my partner, Mike Nelson, Tony Damaso, Brian Kasich, and everybody who did any work today on our broadcast, and especially to you for sticking with us and watching. So we thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here